Well. So the good news is Henry Cavill is back as Superman. Yeah. So that's one good thing. The bad thing is that he's not coming back to The Witcher season 4.
That's odd.
That's surprising.
It's not.
They should be able to balance
be,
those two. They should be able to schedule him out. I mean,
well, that's not the reason.
No, I don't think that's the reason.
No, it's not surprising because I've been paying attention while some of my co-hosts here on the show walk around life with their eyes shut tight, completely ignoring the circumstances of reality.
What I've heard so far is Henry Cavill is a huge Witcher fan. He went out and did research, and he said that he said previously that he wanted to keep playing Geralt until they stopped making Witcher content.
That's because there's more news you don't know about yet, David.
Apparently so, yeah.
Henry Cavill is a huge. Is it Cavill or Cavill?
Cavill is.
I usually hear.
I'm gonna say Cavill. That sounds cooler. Henry Cavill.
Yes.
So he's a huge Witcher fan. He'd already read the books and played the games before he was cast. He's also a massive nerd. Like he was huge into World of Warcraft. He builds his own gaming PCs. This dude is like the good version of a Chad, which is crazy because he's also freaking ripped. So I like this man. And we were talking about last time how he was known for on set of The Witcher correcting people, saying, "Hey, this is actually what it says in the books," which is part of the reason why he will not be returning to season 4. Because this news also dropped. There was a producer/writer for the Witcher show who left the show for these reasons. So it's confirmed that half of the writers hate the source material.
That's unfortunate.
Which just begs the question, why the heck are you involved in writing for a show that's based on material that you actively dislike?
We know the answer.
I mean, but why would producers, why would their bosses then hire them if it's like, I don't even like the show? Like,
it's because it's
friends of friends.
We've seen it. Yeah. We've seen it. We've already seen it time and time again, though. They don't care about the source material. They care about the message.
Mm-hmm. I believe that usually how these writers get their job, there's a term in Mexico, they use it a lot. It's called palanca, and it's basically that you have help from someone basically someone
nepotism.
Powerful, nepotism. Basically,
palanca. I like that one.
Yeah, palanca. Yeah, and when they say that you have palanca because you didn't deserve the job, and they just hire you because you know someone.
But it's not just palanca, guys. I'm sure that there's definitely some of that involved, but we've seen it time and time again. Like they use these high profile IPs to create shows where they can inject their own identity politics.
Yep.
I mean, and you kind of saw it in season 2. Geralt was hardly in it.
Yeah, it was all about
Jennifer.
It was still okay because every time he was on screen, he just exudes awesomeness. But like even the dialogue that they gave him for season 2, it was all every line out of his mouth was telling Ciri how amazing she was.
Mm-hmm. How she was the key, basically.
Like, and that's the thing. Like we like Ciri as a character. Like if anyone's played the games, like people love Ciri. The problem is that you do it at the sacrifice of the strong male character.
And not only that, but at this point of the story, Ciri is not even that important.
She's only relevant when she gets older. Okay,
yes, and really relevant. I love Ciri, but right now she's just an annoying little girl, literally. But she's already a teenager.
So coming back to this headline here, I'd like to pose a question to you guys. Mm-hmm. This is something that's been talked about before on online forums and other YouTube commentators. Do you think that it is important to be a fan of the source material if you're going to be involved in writing or producing a show?
Absolutely.
Based on some content. Do you think it's absolutely
yes, but
necessary to be a fan of the show before?
If you're saying involved not necessarily, but in charge, yes.
Mm-hmm. I would say that it's not necessarily important that they were a fan of the source material, but you have to educate yourself about the source material, and you have to respect it. You definitely can't actively dislike the source material.
That's where I land. For me, my personal opinion would be you need to respect the source material, because I can understand that there's room to argue that there may not be. It's more important to present a good show. But if you're doing so at the expense of the source material, you can change the source material. They did that with the Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of places where you need to adapt and change the source material for what you're presenting on screen, because they're different mediums. But you need to still have respect for it. And even if you didn't have a love for it beforehand, you should have the respect to be involved, like know what's going on. I think Tony Gilroy with Andor and Rogue One are actually great examples of that, because he was not a Star Wars guy. He's not a big Star Wars guy, but he has the care and respect to have taken time to figure out how his story and what he wants to tell can fit into the Star Wars universe, and how he can stay true to what exists, to that existing lore, and move forward with that to tell his story.
I agree, yeah.
And like you said, you don't even have. I'm sorry. Continue.
Well, I was just going to say, I'd add to that I think that it's important that you don't necessarily have to like it, because sometimes, you're just given a project, especially as a producer or a writer, right? Like they just come to you and they say, hey, like we want you on this project, right? And sometimes you don't have to like it, but I think it certainly helps when you like it to be able to tell the story better, right? And to be able to tell it the right way. And
I think if you aren't a fan of it, or if you're not familiar with it, it's your duty as someone in charge, either a writer, producer, and even an actor, to go out and research that and become familiar with it.
Yeah.
And hire people that are experts on it and can inform you and give you guidance throughout the way. And what we've seen so far with a lot of these shows is they don't take that into consideration. They consulted Brandon Sanderson on the Wheel of Time, and we know they ignored a lot of his advice. With the Rings of Power, they
fired Tom
Shippey, the lore expert, all the while, bragging about having used Tom Shippey in all of their interviews backstage, and they fired him because he said, "Hey, you guys are going too far off canon."
And I thought I'd also heard that they were supposed to have sent the scripts to Peter Jackson to review, and he says he never got anything. He was just sitting there waiting for him to send him something.
He even say that they ghosted him, right? He was like, "Hey, where's the script?" And I want to read it. Obviously, because
it actually makes me wonder whether they had scripts at all, because the way that how poorly put together the story was with that.
Probably they didn't.
Maybe
some. I think the other thing that I think is at least worth noting is just being a fan is also not good enough on its own, because you need to also know how to tell a story, how to present a story, how to put together the pieces that actually need to be done for that. So it's
absolutely.
I'd even argue that's more important than being a fan.
Well, that's why I said
just the step above being respectful of it. Know what you're doing as a filmmaker or TV maker, and then respect the source material, and then the rest.
Right.
And that's why I said, just to be involved on the project, you don't have to be a super fan of the source material. It's actually good if you have one person who isn't, right, and who's only steeped on storytelling, and one person who is, and you work together to find a happy medium.
I'd argue that's kind of what you get with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Maybe not exactly, but Jon Favreau really knows how to do movies, and he's well steeped in all that.
You're picking a bad example for
maybe not the best example for you guys, but and I don't know if anybody else.
I get what you're saying.
No.
I'm not.
And I think that they do at least.
I'm not a fan of Dave Filoni, so
yeah. I think they do at least a decent job, even if they maybe don't do the most amazing. I still really enjoy most of what they've done, and I think that is an example of somebody who.
Yeah. If you pick all of the Star Wars
lore,
stuff, the Mandalorian is the one where you can tell they kind of care about the source material,
Yeah. Which, if there is some time and we feel like it, I don't know if anybody else here watched Tales of the Jedi, but it was actually very good.
I did, yeah. It was okay.
I really liked it.
I saw the one scene and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna watch this.
Which scene is that?
The Ahsoka scene. She's a
Ahsoka
baby,
is Jedi.
and
Yeah.
she's
Yeah, that part was ridiculous. I didn't like the first episode really, but there was 2 episodes that I really enjoyed out of the 6, and the rest were okay.
Not interested. Star Wars is
you're
dead
lost.
to me.
Quite like it.
You say that as we're watching Andor right now.
I do.
It's pretty good.
I'm enjoying Andor. I don't.
It's not dead.
I'm enjoying the show. I don't care about Star Wars anymore. It is dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to get to that
Still
point.
fun to
In spite of all my own actual complaints,
Yes.
I refuse to get to that point.
Yes.
I will be a diehard Star Wars fan in spite of what they want to do.
Yep.
For quite a long time. They're going to have to do quite a lot worse than what they have done in order to get me to give up on it.
I will go to my grave kicking and screaming and complaining about everything they're doing to Star Wars, but I will not stop being a fan because
I'll still
I love
complain.
it so much.
I'll still complain about Star Wars, but I'm like that. The tug on my heartstrings has been severed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't physically get excited for Star Wars anymore because I've seen it. I've been burned too many times, and I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore.
Yeah.
I'll always be a fan of the OGs.
I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to critique it because I need to do that. But I'm not. I don't. Man, it's such a bummer too. I was. Oh.
So this. Did we ever actually get to discuss, what happened with Henry Cavill? I mean, because it seems like we got to this point, and then, we got a little sidetracked.
They let him go because they feel like he's too tied to the books and stuff that they don't even like.
Yeah. Oh, and he's being replaced with Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that.
When was the last time you saw a movie that was decent with Liam Hemsworth? Like at least decent.
Was he in those Divergent movies? Is that what he?
I don't even remember what.
No, he was
I
on
only really know
the
Chris, so.
game of the Hunger Games.
He was in the Hunger Games.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games.
Okay.
No,
Is
the
he
guy
the main
from the-
love interest?
Who?
Yes. Well,
He's
one
the
of the main.
older, the friend, the one that's not there
Okay.
most of the time.
He's the one with
movie.
black hair, beard.
Yeah, I don't care.
Gotcha.
Me neither.
It does feel like Henry Cavill was perfect, and now we're losing a.
Yeah. That's
Now we're going to
unfortunate.
go to a subpar replacement, but
I won't.
But I have a theory. Theory.
I won't watch this
Maybe he's getting casted as a Targaryen. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Ooh, Game of Thrones season 2 or
Yeah,
3.
I
or
mean he's
something?
already English.